difficult to live with.
Green Bay won the toss. Jim Breach will kick it away for Cincinnati. Walter Stanley, Kenneth Davis, Gary Ellerson, all deep for the Packers. Sellout crowd in County Stadium, Milwaukee, and we're underway. Short kick from Breach. Carries back to Davis, stumbled a bit at the 5. And Davis, who will not start today, runs back the kick to the 22 before he's stopped by Leon White. So the Packers will start things off. They have scored the fewest points of any team in the NFC this year. In fact, they've only scored 2 touchdowns, none rushing, and they will start with Randy Wright, who was not greeted too cheerfully when he was introduced to the crowd. Gary Ellerson, Paul Ott-Caruth starting in the backfield. Those are changes. The Ott and Caruth, yes, he is related to the great Mel Ott, the offensive lineman. So here we go. First down for Green Bay, starting at the 22. This is Ellerson, gets to the 25. They have to establish some kind of rushing game. They are last in rushing in the National Football League. The defense for Cincinnati, and they were burned last week by Chicago. Defensively, they start with the front 3 of Tim Crumry, Ross Browner, and Eddie Edwards. Crumry, a native of Wisconsin here, has a big following in the stands. Gave 300 tickets away to hometown fans. King Zander, Barker Williams, some good linebackers. Defensive backs, they start 2 rookies with Billups and Fulcher. 2nd and 7. It's Ellerson again. Some good running room, up for a first down or close to it at the 32. So Green Bay, which doesn't have a single ball carrier, which has rushed for 100 yards this season, let alone 1 game, and they're trying to establish it that way in the early going, Reggie.
They must do that because running gives you control of the football game. They haven't had many favorable 2nd and 3rd down situations because they haven't run the football effectively. And I know Forrest, he believes in a big offensive line, which he has, good strong running from tackle to tackle, and they must do that in order to move this football today on 2nd and 3rd down situations.
So Ellerson did come up shy of the first down. This will be a 3rd and 1 at the 32 for the Packers. This will be an important play to try to instill some confidence early. Wright kept it himself. I wonder if it's a planned play, and I believe he does have the first down.
One thing that Randy Wright needs right now is some confidence. Maybe this will give him some. As you heard the crowd, they cheered him after this quarterback sneak, after he picked up that first down. Good blocking behind Mark Cannon, the center. A very good player. As we said, these are huge people up front for Forrest Gregg.
He made them practice outdoors all week in the rain, even though they have an indoor facility. No mercy for his team. First down at the 34. Pitch back to Ellerson. Picks up good yardage and loses the ball, but it's down at the 37. So Ellerson is the workhorse today, starting in place of the #2 draft pick, Kenneth Davis. Ellerson, a 2nd-year Badger, home state Wisconsin product.
I want to mention this. The field conditions aren't the best. Ground is soft, particularly in the area of the field where the Packers are right now. It's difficult for the defensive players to get good footing. So I think it's a good idea in here to rush the football because the offense has the advantage on a slippery field.
2nd and 7 at the 37. Reggie Williams nailed them late. The pass is incomplete. And Reggie, your keys to the game for the Green Bay Packers to win this thing this afternoon.
Well, we hit on it just a bit ago. On offense, they must gain 4 to 6 yards on first down by run or pass in order to get those favorable 2nd and 3rd down situations so they can control the football and control the game. And defensively, well, they've got to get to Boomer Esiason. They do not rush the passer well, but they must find a way to do it today. Sacks are important, and maybe they might even blitz, even though Mozeleski doesn't like to do that.
Randy Wright calling out signals. 3rd and 7 at the 37. He has Eddie Lee Ivory in off the injured list. He had a neck injury. He's now back in action as a wide receiver. And intended for Epps. Breeden had fallen down as Arnold and Epps were in the same area, but they could not connect, and the Packers will have to punt it away with the rookie Lewis Billups covering on the play.
Here's what concerns me about the Packers. You've got the great James Lofton out there. He's the leading active player in the National Football Conference. They don't get him the football. They don't even look to him. He had a one-on-one situation that time, had beaten his man clearly. If I were right, I'd look for Lofton.
So Don Bracken, who has the worst punting average in the NFC, is in to punt for Green Bay. Bracken standing at his 22. He'll punt it away to Mike Martin of Cincinnati. And this is not a poor punt by any stretch. Drives Martin back to the 17, to the 25, and Martin down to the 30, and that's where the Bengals will start when they come out for their first series. Ed Berry out on the tackle. So Boomer Esiason's ready. The Bengals are out on the field. Sun did shine this morning. And Bengals hope that it shines favorably on them. What a tough week. Hard to believe that number 7 could only put up 7 points a week ago. Really shellacked by the Bears. Esiason was benched during the game in favor of Anderson and Gaynor, but he's the quarterback, gets the start. First down to 31 for Cincinnati. And James Brooks, and gets 3 out to the 34. So Esiason the quarterback. Brooks and Bill Johnson starts in place of the injured Larry Kinnebrew. His ankle still hurts him. Collinsworth, Brown, Rodney Holman, the tight end. And that massive offensive line of theirs, Munoz, Kozerski, Remington, Montoya, Blados. They will try to run the ball as they did in that impressive win over Cleveland when Kinnebrew scored the 3 touchdowns. It's a 2nd and 7 at the 34. Brown in motion. Bill Johnson, and continues to fight across the 35. And defensively, the Green Bay Packers with their front 3 as Charles Martin gets the start over Donnie Humphrey along with Carricker and Brown. And a quick offense. And Packers were caught with too many men on the field. That's a Cincinnati trademark.
Oh,
no huddle offense, and there had to be 15 Packers running back and forth in a fire drill before that play was run off.
I think that's terrific. That's heads-up coaching by Sam White. If you're the Green Bay Packers and Forrest Gregg and his staff, you have to be ready for this type of thing. You know Cincinnati does it. They weren't ready. Good move by White and the Bengals.
Let's listen to Dick Hantak, the referee this afternoon.
There's no penalty on the play. Replay, 3rd down.
How about that?
Somebody needs to explain this to me. There are too many men on the field to begin with. Now maybe Esiason put the ball in play before the official touched it and spotted it. I don't know, but Green Bay clearly had more than 11 players on the field.
Sam White on the far side asking for an explanation as well. This is the only stadium in America for professional football where both benches are on the same side of the field. And as we continue to look at the Packer defense, Jeff Shue was a former Cincinnati Bengal who left in a contract dispute. Scott, Dorsey, Noble, pretty fair linebackers. And defensive backs glad they don't have to deal with Tommy Kramer. They go up those 6 touchdown passes a week ago. Lee, Cade, John L. Sullivan, and Flynn. Of course, Tim Lewis retired with the neck injury.
I think running the football, the Bengals are taking the long way home. And the Packers are very good against the run. They only give up 2.9 yards a rush. That's best in the league. But they are very porous against the pass. They do not rush the passer well. The linebackers do not cover people well. Look for James Brooks to have a big day against these linebackers of the Green Bay Packers.
Reggie's 3rd and 5 at the 36. 4 wide receivers in for the Bengals. The lone running back is James Brooks. Good protection. Esiason, he can't complete it from Mike Martin. And the Bengals will have to kick it away.
Defensive coordinator Dick Moszulewski of the Packers said, I've got to do one thing. I've got to make Esiason move one way or the other. I can't let him sit in there and throw the football. That time, pretty good pass protection by the Bengals. Good coverage by the Packers. Consequently, change of possession.
Jeff Hayes, who has struggled as well. He's had 2 punts blocked for touchdowns. And that's Walter Stanley deep for the Green Bay Packers. The Packers, who've given up a lot of points, have to be happy that they have held the usually high-scoring Bengals on their first series. And now in another official discussion. They get paid by the second, Reg? And perhaps the most important on the bottom, Paul Trapinski, handling the replays this afternoon.
The Packers commit so many men to that front line. I wouldn't be surprised to see something.
Good high punt this time. Drives Stanley back to his 15. But good coverage by the Bengals. particularly from Joe Kelly, the #1 draft choice, the rookie linebacker, and they stop him right there. So both teams stopped on their first drives. The Packers will give it another shot with Reggie Rucker. 10-16 remain in the scoreless first quarter here. If you're familiar with our NBC Sports coverage, every 10 minutes we will have the 10-minute ticker to see what's doing around the National Football League. Only field goals being scored thus far early. Touchdowns are tough to come by. Not a touchdown in the National Football League. Houston leads Detroit. So Green Bay with their second series starting first down for 16. They did get a first down the first time they had the ball. Cincinnati held without one on their first possession. Fake to Ellerson, and Wright falls on it for 14. Loss of 2.
We've talked about what Green Bay has to do to win this football game. Now, Cincinnati defensively needs to do a couple of things, and I think primary is keep James Lofton and Phil Epps under control. No quick strikes. Do not let those players with that great speed get on the scoreboard and get behind your defense, because if you do, you can't catch them. They're great players. And offensively, play error-free football, a plus turnover ratio, no fumbles, no interceptions.
This will be a 2nd and 12 back at the 14. Caruth in motion. And Ellerson is open. First down at the 30. Ellerson to the 35. Still on his feet to the 47-yard line. Big pickup for Gary Ellerson.
Now, Randy Wright and Gary Ellerson and the Packers offense needed this. Good pass play. Here's a back come out of the backfield, gets on the outside very quickly. Ellison's a player who runs the football well after he catches it. You can see his head is upfield all the way, picking and turning his way. Good pass play to Gary Ellerson.
And good for 32 yards for the former Badger. So first down at their 46. The Packers get something offensively. Epps in motion. Right, Ellerson's open again. Another first down. All the way down to the Cincinnati 35. Back-to-back right to Ellerson.
Similar play as the one before to Ellerson to the left side. Randy Wright is faking the ball into the line of scrimmage. Watch. See, you see number 57 there. He's a linebacker, Reggie Williams. He probably should have pass coverage responsibility, but it looked like a run to him. Therefore, he committed. Ellison's out on the outside all alone. Once again, big play.
Back-to-back plays covering 53 yards. One for 32, one for 21. And it's a first down for Green Bay at the Cincinnati 34. And we'll watch this play from the end zone. We'll see it as the defense sees it. They see a sweep. And this is Caruth. And Caruth has a first down to the 22. The famed Packer sweep of old.
Caruth played in the USFL, the Birmingham Stallions, played at Alabama. He's a good, tough kid. Runs the ball well, blocks well. Take a look at it. Number 30 on the right side comes through, an outstanding block by Tom Neville, number 72. And then you see the Cincinnati Bengals missing the tackles there, and Caruth with a good, strong, squatty size of his picks up good yardage.
Yes, he's a cousin of famed Baseball Hall of Famer Mel Ott. Sam Weich has to be scratching his head. Forrest Gregg put in different running backs to start this week, perhaps for some motivation. Well, it's successful so far. Forget about the motivational factor. Here's Ellerson again. Ellerson has running room, and he's down to the 12. This game is a sellout thanks to the fine folks of WTMJ Television here in Milwaukee. They bought the last 900 tickets, and I'm sure all the Packer fans watching the Milwaukee area are very grateful to Channel 4 for enabling them to see what is a most surprising and a welcome sight for Packer fans, a long, successful drive all the way down to the Cincinnati 12. So, tip of the cap to WTMJ Television this afternoon. First down at the 12. Caruth in motion. Ellerson carries inside the 10, down to the 8. The Packer drive continues. So as they pile on the dirt portion of the infield where the Brewers play. checking the scores once again on our ticker. Can anybody score a touchdown in the NFL this afternoon? The defenses are reigning thus far. Cleveland's in Pittsburgh, Reggie, trying to win for the first time ever at Three River Stadium. They've lost every single time they've played there.
16 years in a row. It's the 17th meeting.
2nd and 5 at the 7. Ellerson to the 5, upended at the 3. Leo Barker in on the tackle for Cincinnati. But Ellerson, second-year player from Wisconsin, having a terrific afternoon, Reg.
Good block by former #1 draft choice Ken Rutgers, number 75, in the middle of your screen from USC. Big, strong. He has the distinction of being the man given Forrest Gregg's number here in Green Bay, number 75. There's Forrest. He wore that number, a Hall of Famer now.
And there's confusion on both benches as players being run in and out. Wright asking for silence. 3rd down and 1 at the 3. Ellerson fights inside near a first down. Ron Simpkins stopping him. And this will be a most important measurement. And the crowd, even before the measurement, says go. And it is 4th down. They won't even bother to measure with the ball at the 3.
Oh, and you're 0-4 and you need a shot in the arm like the Green Bay Packers need. You have to go for this first down and score first. Get out first on the Cincinnati Bengals, who don't have a very good defense, and you may be in business in this ballgame.
4th and 1.
Ball resting between the 2 and the 3. I formation. Randy Wright breaks it up now. With the motion. Ellerson the carry.
Whoa.
And up and over. No score, but the Packers signal first down. The officials have yet to do so.
Now here's where you
Now they're taking timeout.
Here's where you start jockeying for the judge's favor, Lynn. The defense is saying no, he didn't. The offense is saying yes, we did. Here's Ellison going high, but there's a wall of orange helmets right there at the line of scrimmage to meet Ellison. That is the way you stop a man in the air. Put that helmet and that shoulder pad in there and stop it.
First down, Packers at the 2. Did he really say that, Reggie?
Well,
that's an awfully tough quote. I know he's a tough coach.
Having played for this man, I think he would.
Maybe he said I would kiss my mother for a win. Maybe,
I think he said he would whip her.
So 1st and goal for Randy Wright. Again asking for silence at the closed end of County Stadium. Big formation. That brings a roar from the crowd as they split outside. Ellerson trying to turn the corner. Touchdown, Packers! The first rushing touchdown of the year and just the 3rd score of the season for the Packers, and they do it in impressive style with 3:40 remaining in the first quarter. 6-0 for Gregg and the Pack.
That's why this is such a marvelous game. Last week, both of these clubs looked so inept in their performances, and this week, after Gregg cracks the whip, put them through all kinds of practice sessions under all kinds of duress, what a fine-looking offense they have today. What a difference a week makes.
Al Del Greco will try to make it 7. And he does so. So the sold-out County Stadium crowd happy as the Green Bay Packers have marched the length of the field. Gary Ellerson capping off the longest drive of the season for the Green Bay Packers.
The famed Green Bay Packers sweep. Watch number 65, Ron Holstrom, out in front of Gary Ellerson. You can't see it from this angle, but he throws a marvelous block in the end zone, springing Ellerson for the touchdown. Ten plays, 84 yards. 6 minutes and 36 seconds. They look scintillating on that drive.
And most of those yards were Ellerson. 2 catches for 53 yards passing. Kick is low. Tim McGee scoops it. Doesn't have it yet. McGee goes back at the 5. And this is a Green Bay Packer first quarter with 3.5 minutes remaining. Who would have thought it? Tim Harris covering.
Certainly not a very wise decision to try to pick that ball up and scoop it and on the run and do everything at the same time.
There is a flag on the play, Rich. And White says take the penalty.
Okay.
Go west. All right, maybe we'll ask him to kick it again.
Talking with Boomer Esiason before the game, he noted that this was a turning point for the Cincinnati Bengals. They must win this game, not only because they need to stay in contention, but when you're facing an 0-4 team, obviously
offside.
has problems.
Kicking team, number 97, re-kick.
No wonder Harris was covering on the play. He was offside.
Finish the thought, Lynn. You should not lose to a team that on paper you are better than. Of course, you don't play the game that way, but very important game here for the Cincinnati Bengals, who are behind now 7-0.
Well, he coached the Bengals into the Super Bowl, number 16, Pontiac, Michigan. In fact, Greg is the answer to that trivia question. The only man to ever play and coach in a Super Bowl, but he has his work cut out from here in Green Bay. The team has never started off in the glorious Packer history, has never started off 0-5, and they are 0-4 coming in today, and Del Greco will kick for a second time. Another low kick from Del Greco. And Stanford Jennings. Jennings comes to the near side, may get some room at the 35, and wrestled down at the 36 by Ed Berry. Kick return of 20 yards for Stanford Jennings, and wind will be a factor this afternoon. You can see the flag on the far side whipping. It's kind of swirling winds, but at the moment it's to the back of the Bengals and Boomer Esiason. First down at the 37. Fantasy motion with tight end Bill Johnson. And Johnson gets daylight across midfield. Bill Johnson all the way down to the Packer 36. So the Bengals say take that, Green Bay. Mark Lee finally making the stop. A big pickup for Bill Johnson, the former USFL player out of Arkansas. 27 yards.
Johnson had a fabulous game against the Cleveland Browns on a Thursday night. That's when they really discovered how strong he was in the hole. And I'll tell you what, he has some good speed here, good footwork. Reminds you a little bit of Kennebrew going from tackle to tackle. Very difficult to bring down. Big pickup by Bill Johnson.
First down at the Packer 36. James Brooks tries to cut back inside, and gets the 35 is driven back by a green wave. John Dorsey, Jeff Shue, a couple of the Packers on the tackle.
I still think that is one area of this game in which the Packers are good at. I believe they stopped the run very well, and I believe that Boomer Esiason needs to put this ball up in the air. The Packers do not get great pressure on the quarterback. They give a lot of man-to-man coverage. The Bengals have outstanding people to throw to. Let's see what he does.
Second and 9 at the 35. Passing play. Fakes to Johnson. Rolls out. Passes to Johnson at the 30. And inside the 30 to the 29, but short of a first down. Randy Scott and John L. Sullivan covering.
Esiason came away looking for Eddie Brown down on the left side. Good coverage over there by Mosi Cade. Found Bill Johnson sneaking out of the backfield. Didn't look pretty, but it picked up about 8 yards.
Third to the 29. This will be 3rd and 3 at the 29 for Cincinnati. Tim Lewis, fine cornerback who had to call it quits the week before last after butting heads with Willie Gault of Chicago. Tough to retire at the age of 24. Pitch back to Johnson. Johnson stopped. And this will set up a long field goal attempt should they choose to go for it. Brian Noble making the stop. Now we have some touchdowns. Patriots over that leaky Miami defense 10-0. And Kansas City over the Raiders, same score. Scoreless Minnesota and Chicago. And the NFC scores as Jim Breach comes on. Breach thus far in 86 has been perfect. Hasn't missed a field goal or an extra point. This will be a long attempt as he pats the turf at the 38. So a 48-yard try for Jim Breach with the veteran Ken Anderson holding. And as you can see, off and short. And the Packer defense holds, and another good roar of appreciation as Jim Breach misses for the first time in 86. NFL 86 is Sam White, and the man he succeeded, Forrest Gregg, and a surprising first quarter, which is about to come to a close. First down for Green Bay at the 29. 6 first downs for the Packers, just 1 for the Cincinnati offense. Ellerson, this time he's wrapped up and stopped. Eddie Edwards brought him down.
Good penetration by Eddie Edwards, number 73 that time. He played off the block excellently, got into the backfield and stopped Gary Ellison. One of the few times today that Ellison has been stopped from getting productive yardage.
It was a loss of 3, and that'll do it for the first quarter. So first quarter dominated by Gary Ellerson. It's a commercial. You saw Boomer Esiason shaking his head. I've seen you do that throughout the first quarter.
I'm shaking my head a little bit too, because I don't believe that you want to give a team like the Green Bay Packers incentive. I think if you give them success early, they're difficult to play against. They are virtually defenseless via the pass, Lynn. I think they need to throw the ball. I think Cincinnati has a great passing attack. Throw the football.
I think they're being a little too conservative.
I do.
Second down and 14 for the Pack at their 26 as we start the second quarter in Milwaukee. Caruth is the lone setback. Flag is down. Ellerson is open. He's been open all day, Reg. When are they going to figure out number 42 is dangerous out of the backfield? Let's see who the flag will go against. It's a holding against Green Bay, which will negate that good pickup on the pass to Ellerson.
I think what Green Bay is realizing is that they have a formation mismatch when they get Ellison outside. Let's take a look at first quarter stats.
The time of possession, Reggie, over 10 minutes
Holding.
for Green Bay.
Offense, number 73, replay, second down.
What we have here is clearly a team that has better personnel, the Bengals, who are playing tentatively.
It was Alan Weingrad called for the hold. As far as Gregg has a few words for Kenneth Davis. Davis says, "Let me in, coach. I have been the starter."
The Bengals aren't matching up well in this formation. They're trying to cover Lofton and Epps, but they've got to put a defensive back on Ellison.
And they are pushed back to the 16. Second down to 26. And slipping down on the handoff. And not the play you want to call on a second and 26 is one of the few times Ellerson has been stopped. I'm not sure it was the dirt of the infield portion that got him here, because the dirt is packed pretty down hard. But now Ellerson heads out. Substitutions all around. Skin portion of the Brewer infield. This will be third down from the 15. They need to get out to the 39. From the 15. And Green Bay center Mark Cannon with a strained ligament. He is out, replaced by Bill Cherry, a rookie free agent from Middle Tennessee State. Another flag is down as the play is whistled dead. Green Bay offense really struggling here in this series. It'll be a motion call against the Packers, which will push him back to the 10.
False start. Offense, number 75, third down.
Ken Rutgers. So everyone getting in on the act now. And now the ball's back to the 10. They're marching backwards. They need the 39 for a first down.
A precarious position to be passing in football, because Wright will be backed up against his own end line, and that's always dangerous.
It's a 3rd and 30, Reggie. Shotgun formation with Cherry now centering and replacing the injured Cannon. And the inside handoff to Caruth, and he gets out to the 16. You know, the crowd is booing a bit. You really can't argue with that. As you pointed out, that's a dangerous place to try to pass from, and Wright has really struggled with his passing. Hasn't hit a wide receiver today. He's mainly worked the running backs. Didn't hit anybody last week at all.
Listen, they've got a 7-0 lead, and they had their backs to the wall. There's no sense in taking a chance in that situation. They did the right thing. Punt the football, play defense. The Bengals aren't playing the kind of offense right now that they are noted for, so why take chances?
So Bracken, who had a 46-yarder last time, and they'll let it bounce at the 50.
I think that ball may have hit a Bengal.
I thought it might have, but let's see.
I think that ball may have hit a Bengal.
I agree with you, Reggie. Of course, we have a replay official. The flag is down anyway on the near side.
Sam White's told us before the game that if he thought that a call would be in his favor, he wouldn't hesitate to take a timeout so the officials can make the call. All right, let's left side of the screen. Watch number 27. The ball does graze up.
Yes.
You see the different inflection of the ball on the second hop. It appeared to hit Barney Bussey.
The officials have yet to go to any walkie-talkie. There's a flag on the play anyway, Reg, which could negate the whole thing, even if it did hit a Bengal.
Well, our replay judge today is Paul Trapinski, looking at the instant replay.
Maybe there's no need to look at it, Reg, if a flag was down. I'm sure that's now the walkie-talkies are out, so they're speaking with the replay official upstairs. This is the era of technology to determine football. Let's get the explanation now. There's the booth where the replay official, Paul Trapinski, sits. But if there was an ineligible man down on the Packer punt, that would negate it anyway. Let's see. And we have walkie-talkies and wireless microphones for the officials. And
Ineligible member of the kicking team down early. Re-kick, 4th down.
so it didn't matter if it hit a Bengal or not. An eligible man downfield, they'll kick again. So it's all mute.
That mean it didn't make any difference?
Right. So Bracken now will stand in his end zone, and we'll try again. If there wasn't a flag down, then they might have gone to the replay official and determined the ball did hit Bussey, and it would have been Green Bay ball. Now, all these things you have to think about. A play doesn't happen until the next play now, fans. Every play in football is tape delayed until the next snap because of replay. So what you see doesn't really happen until they've snapped the ball in the next play. Bracken from his goal line to Mike Martin at the 46. Martin in Packer territory is dragged down at the 46 of Green Bay. 43-yard punt, a 9-yard return. So now that things are all straightened out after a poor Green Bay drive, Cincinnati has the ball. First down at the Packer 44 for Cincinnati, trailing with 13 minutes remaining in the first half. 7-0 Green Bay, and Esiason to throw on first down. And he'll complete one to Eddie Brown, first down, and now he completes one to a wide receiver inside the 30 to the 29. Mossy Cade covering.
Eddie Brown, 11 receptions, 16.9 average, and 2 touchdowns. They like Eddie Brown a great deal. He's a double threat player. He carries the ball on reverses, and he runs well after the catch, as you just saw. The Bengals need to throw the ball more.
First down at the Packer 29. That was the first completion to a wide receiver in the game. James Brooks on the sweep. Good blocking inside the 25. Brooks is lassoed down at the 21 by Tom Flynn, the free safety. And New England and Kansas City continue with their 10-0 leads. St. Louis surprising the Giants. No score. Philadelphia and Atlanta. Cleveland trying to win for the first time at Three River Stadium. Ball down to the 20. So a pickup of 9 for Brooks. Call this a 2nd and 1. Caddis in motion. Bill Johnson. And he gets the 1 and more as he dives ahead to the 15. A good second burst from Johnson. Robert Brown making the stop for Green Bay.
Good power blocking right in the middle of that offensive line. Remington, number 50. Blados, number 74. Look at the block by number 74, left side of the screen. Blados just collapsing that side of the Packer line. Alfonso Carricker there. Can't get away from Blados. Blados looking for more people to hit. A 300-pounder.
Major league block from Brian Blados. First down at the 15. The pitch to Johnson. Maybe to the 12. The swarming Packer defense led by Randy Scott, their top tackler last year, number 55 in the tackle.
Football is such a game of wills, Len. One side trying to will its way onto the other, strength being a vital part of that. And maybe it's just that Sam Whites and the Cincinnati Bengals think that they can overpower the Green Bay Packers up front, because all signs point to a passing game for them.
It's tough to pass on the far side. The stands come right up to the back of the end zone, and it does adjust your game plan. This is 2nd and 8 at the 13. So passing is tough in Milwaukee at both ends. You can't run a fly pattern or you can really hurt yourself. Esiason throws it away into the stands, or near close to it. You can see on the far side there, the stands comes right up to the back of the end zone. So you can't really run a fly pattern as you can in other stadiums, or you can really be seriously hurt here.
A week ago, Lynn, that may have been a touchdown. What the Packers are doing today is just what Dick Moselowski said they needed to do: pressure. 3rd down conversions. New Orleans 56.2, Cleveland 55.0, and the Packers 51.8. That isn't very good in 3rd down situations.
So Sam White's faced with a 3rd and 8 at his 13. Throwing. Collinsworth. Touchdown Cincinnati. The veteran Chris Collinsworth, 13 yards from Esiason, and they're within an extra point of tying this one up.
So you play well on 1st down and 2nd down, and suddenly you give up a big play on 3rd down, as we just showed you on the 3rd down conversion percentage. Collinsworth slanting in across the middle. Outstanding play by Esiason to Collinsworth. But if you're looking at it from a defensive point of view, you should never give up a touchdown in that situation after playing so well on 1st and 2nd down.
So with 11 minutes remaining in the half, Jim Brees will try to knot it at 7. Anderson holding. It was a low snap. Anderson converted it, and so did Breach. So early 2nd quarter. It's the Packers 7, the Bengals 7, on the strength of a 13-yard touchdown throw from Boomer's Boomer. You threw it good, kid.
You watch 99 and 55 back out of there. That means that the Packers wanted to defend the pass rather than rush it. It didn't prove the right move.
So Breach kicks away. 7-7 game. Short kick. 15. It's Gary Ellerson. Heads outside to the 20 before he is stacked up by Barney Bussey after a pickup of 5 yards. So the Pack will start from the 20. And Randy Wright and the Packer offense will be looking for better things on this possession. They really marched backwards the last time.
Many times when a team is playing on emotion, which many of Forrest Gregg's teams do because he's such a big motivator, that's Chuck Fusina, they sometimes settle back into their old habits after the other team gets back into the football game or does something spectacular in its own way. Let's see if the Packers respond to the score by Cincinnati.
The team still is talking about Doug Flutie. They would have to work things out with the Rams, and also Flutie would have to get out of his USFL contract with Trump. 1st down at the 20. Now Davis is in the lineup for Green Bay, but doesn't get anything. Davis, their first pick last year on the 2nd round. They didn't have a number 1 pick. Look what Kansas City's doing to the Raiders, Reggie. 17-0. Walter Payton's giving Chicago a 7-0 lead on Minnesota. New Orleans is playing Washington tough. And Houston is within 4 of Detroit. Here's the score here in Green Bay and Milwaukee. Cincinnati and Green Bay tied at 7. No gain on the last play for Davis. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Formation in the backfield. Right, throwing to nobody. Dan Ross was perhaps within 10 yards of the play. Ross, a former Cincinnati Bengal who did quite well in the Super Bowl for Cincinnati, but this will set up 3rd and 10. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Green Bay Packers and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd and 10. Tough play here. Will they be blitzing?
I don't think that Cincinnati will be. Green Bay isn't very good in picking up their own 3rd down conversions. Cincinnati has their nickel coverage in, doubling 2 outside receivers and single covering the inside player.
From the shotgun. Right. Nearly picked off twice. Once by Reggie Williams, the 2nd time by Lewis Breeden. The pass was intended for Eddie Lee Ivory, and he got a hand on it as well. That was really a pinball play.
Well, once Randy Wright got outside containment here, watch the rush coming at him here. Nothing difficult about the rush. It's picked up. Now he needs to just settle down right here, pick out somebody to throw to. He did not see Reggie Williams standing in front of the intended receiver, Eddie Lee Ivory. That's the kind of thing that gets you intercepted.
So Don Bracken is doing a bit better today punting than he had been doing. Punting away to Mike Martin of the Bengals. Not a great kick there. Ball bounces, and they'll let it take a Packer bounce all the way back to the 38. So he didn't get the height, but Bracken did get the roll. And with 9:49 remaining in the first half, after a 42-yard punt without a return, the Bengals will take over at their 38. Their defense has been very successful against Green Bay in the last two series, and score is tied at 7 with under 10 minutes remaining first half.
They're getting good field position because of their defense, and this is the kind of field position where you want to throw the football on first down.
Gave up those 6 touchdown passes to Minnesota last week and 1 more thus far today. Esiason will hand it off to Bill Johnson, and he'll lose the football. Fumble on the play.
Johnson, the ball carrier.
Johnson, playing in place of the injured Larry Kennebrew, does not get a chance to play a great deal. He won't get a chance to play further if he starts coughing the football up. Got to hold on to that ball in the center of the line.
Bengals fortunate to recover it. Play goes as no gain. 2nd and 10 at the 38.
Look at the size of Dave Remington, number 50. What a huge man.
Is there a reason why now they finally get things moving?
2nd and 9. Ball on the 39.
Esiason, touchdown pass to Chris Collinsworth. 3 for 5. No interceptions opposed to a week ago. Here goes a fake reverse. James Brooks keeps it to the far side and out of bounds at the 45 after a pickup of 7. So the score is 7-7 here. Let's check with Bob Costas, see what's going on elsewhere. Bob?
Len, in Kansas City, the Chiefs lead the Raiders in the second quarter 17-0. 10 of their 17 points set up by Raider turnovers, including this 18-yard run by Boyce Green in the first quarter following a Mark Wilson fumble. 17-0 Chiefs in the second.
Thank you, Bob. The Raiders finally got a win last week, but off to one of their toughest starts in memory. 3rd and a long 1 yard to go for a first down. Brooks gets the first down and out of bounds at midfield.
Randy Scott going to out of bounds. First down.
And New England leads Miami also by 17-0. Miami's given up the most points in the AFC. Cincinnati here is number 2 in points allowed. Giants have now tied up St. Louis. No changes on the other 2 scores.
New Orleans playing pretty tough.
Yep. And Detroit now ahead, 14-3.
First down.
Ball at midfield. First down for Cincinnati. Side ball was tipped and incomplete, intended for Collinsworth. We now pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WLUK 11 Green Bay.
At Milwaukee County Stadium, Len Berman with Reggie Rucker. It's 7-7 Cincinnati and Green Bay with 8:35 remaining in the second quarter. The day has turned very overcast. 2nd down and 10 from midfield. Wonder if they'll think about turning the lights on. Now the real reverse to Eddie Brown. And Brown slips down, so all of that picked up about 2 yards. But it was fun to watch.
Boomer Esiason threw an outstanding block downfield. I don't know whether I'd like my quarterback to make a block attempt like that. Quarterbacks are susceptible to many shoulder injuries, and they're hurrying up. Packers once again don't have enough people on the field.
3rd and 8 at the 48. No huddle. Esiason with time. He'll run it. Esiason, a first down, and slides down at the 35. A good pickup of 13 yards for Esiason. First down, Cincinnati at the Packer 35.
A great fake by Esiason. A great fake. Watch it now as Esiason back to pass, decides to run with the football, looks out to his right. Watch the fake. There it is, the pump fake. Everybody goes that way. Then he picks up a block from Bill Johnson running behind Eddie Brown right there. Slides safe. First down.
And he did it right about at second base here at County Stadium. So the Bengals moving again with 7:20 remaining. First half. Draw play. James Brooks. Stutter stepping. Down to the 30. Pick up a 5 for Brooks. Well done.
Great footwork by James Brooks. There was absolutely nothing there. He made 2 people miss behind the line of scrimmage and then made a good move about the 30-yard line to pick up 5 yards.
Brian Noble making the tackle. Outside linebacker. Reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
Second and 5.
This will be second down and 5 for the Bengals at the Packers 30. Clock moving now. 6:45 remaining in the first half. 7-7 our score.
And the Bengals are beginning to control the football in time of possession.
The Packers had over 10 minutes in that first quarter. This has been a Bengals second quarter. Esiason complete to Brown on the outside. First down at the 20. Brown down to the 15. Before he's finally dragged out of bounds by Mosi Cade.
Well, picking on Mosi Cade.
And Brian Noble is down, Reg.
Yeah, the right cornerback. They just lost a linebacker last week, John Anderson, for the season.
Right, Noble was their top rookie last year, and he appears hurt as he helped bring down Brown with Cade.
Cade is playing too far off of the ball, though, but that's to be expected. He hasn't played that position, and he's giving up a lot of room to Eddie Brown. Cade did play last year and the beginning of this season at the strong safety position. He has cornerback ability, but he doesn't have cornerback experience, so I would expect them to continue to pick on Mosi Cade.
Let's see if we can pick up what happens to Brian Noble, second-year player from Arizona State. There's Cade. Here comes Noble. Maybe
it's hard to tell.
His arm. It is hard to tell.
You and I were talking as we were walking.
Perfect fake and a come from behind win over Buffalo on a rollout kind of scramble. First down at the 15. Fakes one way, heads this way, and he does keep it. And runs out of bounds with it.
Is Bobby Leopold clapping because he knows he did a fine job of maintaining containment. Leopold was not fooled whatsoever by the bootleg by Esiason. Got out on the outside, kept Esiason in range, in pursuit, and of course Boomer had no one to throw the football to.
And it was Robert Brown, fifth-year man from VPI, who ran him out of bounds. So a loss on the play of 3 yards, second and 13 from the 18. Now we look for it to pass.
Well, the Packers play great defense on first and second down. It's just third down where they have the lapses.
Johnson to the 15, to the 14. Charles Martin making the tackle. Pick up a 4. That would set up 3rd and 9. So where you might have thought pass, they ran. And again, you would think pass in this situation. Bengals have been 3 for 5.
Last time in this area of the field, he chose Collinsworth for the touchdown.
Right. Has Brooks in a slot to the left.
Another man-to-man situation down here at the bottom.
Crowd calls for defense. 3rd and 9. Look for Brooks. The fake. And the sack. A big one for the Packer defense. Alfonso Carricker with his first of the year. But a flag is on the play.
I think he wanted Collinsworth again. Number 80 on Mosi Cade. Inside. Now he's got a hold of him, and he releases, and Collinsworth slips. Collinsworth was not prepared to catch the football, and that could have led to the sack.
But there is a flag on the play.
Holding. Defense. Number 22. First down.
Mark Lee.
A critical penalty against Mark Lee, the veteran from Washington. Instead of 4th and long, it's a first down, and a big play right there on the penalty.
So once again, the Packers are plagued by that third down phenomenon of theirs. They just cannot seem to put it all together on third down. Look at that stat.
Well, the Bengals haven't had a flag against them yet. And this will be 1st and goal at the 9. Instead of a long field goal try, Reggie. That's a big turnaround right there. And Noble, the report, a bruised knee. I don't know if he will return. James Brooks to the 5. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Big play on that drive. A Mark Lee holding call. James Brooks gives the Bengals the lead, and a fired-up Sam White on the Bengals sideline.
Sam saying, yeah, get him, guys. That's what I want. Watch it now. Left side of the screen. Action coming right at you. Look at the explosion off tackle by number 21, James Brooks, who saunters into the end zone untouched.
Jumped right over between the cameraman and his tape crew from one of the local stations, split the two of them, and hurdled for the touchdown.
What a versatile athlete James Brooks is. Once again, one of the top performers in all-purpose yardage a year ago. Runs, catches, and does everything with the football.
Anderson holding for Breach. And it's blocked. It's blocked. And that could be a big play. The first miss of a field goal for Breach this year. Extra point, rather. The blocked PAT attempt. So with 5:19, his offense score after the sack is negated thanks to a holding call. But Breach, who has missed a 48-yard field goal attempt, has an extra point blocked, the first of either that he has missed this year. And now with 5:19 remaining in the half, it's 13-7 Cincinnati. And Breach will kick it off. Kenneth Davis at the 12, across the 20. And Davis fights to get to perhaps the 29. Will this become a big play in the course of this game? A blocked extra point attempt.
Tim Harris may be the one that got way up in the air, the center of your screen, deflected that attempt.
They're crediting it to Tim Harris, number 97, with the block. So first down for Green Bay at their 29. Tough afternoon for Breach, and lately for the Green Bay offense. They have really struggled after their first good longest drive of 86. Takes it to Davis. Right. Going long for Lofton. And he came back to prevent Breeden from intercepting it. So Wright has yet to complete a pass to a wide receiver this afternoon. The only two to Gary Ellerson out of the backfield.
But this is what you have to do when you have James Lofton on your team. You've got to throw the football his way. He didn't catch that deep throw, but what that does is that makes Lewis Breeden and the Cincinnati Bengals aware that we will go deep on you. James Lofton is still on our football team, contrary to what many people think.
And Phillip Epps as well.
Yeah,
two speedy
fastest
wide
receiver
receivers
in pro football.
And now Davis, the running back, is flanked out to the right side as a wide receiver. 2nd and 9 for the 29. So they're trying to shake things up a bit offensively. They need shaking up. Here he throws for Davis, but they could not find him as they did Ellerson. And this will set up 3rd down. The crowd unhappy with the way the Packer offense is moving now. Chicago's now extended their lead to 10-0. Washington, Jay Schrader on a pass to Art Monk, 14-6 there. Philadelphia has scored on undefeated Atlanta. Pittsburgh always tough at home against Cleveland.
You can expect that.
3rd and 10.
So 3rd and 10 at the 29. Fusina doesn't have the jacket off yet. They've completed just 1 of 6 3rd down conversions. Good catch. Eddie Lee Ivory ruled incomplete.
Wow.
Past the 1st down marker. Ivory did everything he could to hold on, but he's not arguing the play. And this will set up 4th down in a punting situation. Ivory coming off the injured list.
I thought he had it here for a moment. He did, but unlike wide receivers who know how to close on a catch once they know they're going to make contact with the ground, a running back doesn't get the same opportunities or experiences at making catches of this type. And as you can see, the ball did come away from him as he hit the ground.
So Bracken will punt for the 4th time. Not a high one. Straight to Martin to the 33. Juggles it, keeps it, and dives ahead to the 40. So with 4:44 remaining in the first half, Bracken, a busy day for him, and the Cincinnati offense will try to put some more points on the board. Now, be sure to join NBC Sports Saturday evening, October the 18th, as the World Series has come home to NBC Sports. Will it be an East Coast affair, Mets and Red Sox? Will it be Houston Angels? What's the combination? Good pitching from the 4 playoff teams. When it all winds down to 2 teams, you'll see it right here on NBC Sports. First down at the 41 for Cincinnati. The fake to Johnson. All day he has time. And Collinsworth wide open. Chris at the 30. 25 out of bounds at the 20. Mostly Cade finally caught up with him. But Esiason had plenty of daylight, as did Collinsworth. No pressure on either.
Now the Bengal strategy is beginning to unfold. Watch Esiason. No one's even near him. Collinsworth on a crossing pattern, gets the ball in stride, and when you get the football on the run like that, you can add additional yardage after the catch with a great run by Chris Collinsworth, number 80. What a duo, Collinsworth and number 81, Eddie Brown.
His 20th catch of the year. He has a touchdown today already. First down at the 20 after a 38-yard pickup. Johnson straight ahead. Inside the 20 to perhaps the 17. The crowd has gotten considerably quieter with 4:20 remaining in the half. They had that 7-0 lead. The defense was looking good. The offense had driven the length of the field, but now it's a different story.
This is the part of the field where, as a receiver, I was always in my quarterback's ear. Brian Seifert was telling me, hey, I can do this, I can do that. You know, you can see the blood down here because you're only 20 yards or 15 to 16 yards away from pay dirt, and you want to run one of those real fancy routes for a touchdown. Let's see. 2nd and 7 at the 17. Brown comes in motion. Hand off to Brooks. Inside the 15 to the 14, and the flag is down on the far side. And clock is stopped with 3:51 remaining in the first half. And for the first time today, the Cincinnati Bengals will be penalized. And Brian Noble has returned for the Green Bay Packers after being helped off earlier. We talked about one of the keys for victory for the Cincinnati Bengals. That was to play error-free football. No fumbles, no interceptions. So far, as you noted, Lynn, they've been playing error-free ball. This is the first penalty of the day for Cincinnati.
Let's pick it up now. Dick Hantak.
Illegal motion, offense. Number 74, replay the down, 2nd down.
Brian Blados.
What's he doing moving?
Well, some will charge he's moving when he's standing still. He's so big.
Yeah, I did the Japan Bowl a few years ago when Brian Blados was involved in that game. He got into a wrestling match with a
Sumo?
Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah?
Our director, Ralph Abraham, who's doing the game today, was there with me. Taught me how to speak Japanese.
2nd down at 12 from the 22.
Turn it up.
Pressure. Esiason unloads for Brown, and good defense from the Packers secondary. That was Tom Flynn coming over at the last second as Brown grabs his elbow. Mark Lee also helping there, but they converged on Brown as Esiason sort of put it up for grabs with the pressure on him.
Well, you heard me say turn it up. Whenever a receiver is approaching the sideline on a pattern, he naturally should turn the pattern up the field and hope that his quarterback reads that, and Esiason did just that. Excellent adjustment by Eddie Brown and Boomer Esiason. They had to double cover the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, what play will Sam Weich and his coaching staff come up with here on 3rd and 12 at the 22? So Larry Kinneberg, 28 off to the side. Injured fullback. Could play if needed.
What do you think? Will they finally snap a 3rd down play?
I'll let you know after the play. The chase is on. Wide open is Rodney Holman, the tight end. And Holman is stopped short of the first down. Flynn and Cade had daylight, but short of a first down, so they did stop a third down play.
That's incredible because Rodney Holman, number 82, the tight end, should not be this wide open. Third down. Good movement by Holman after he caught the ball. Fourth and less than a 1, maybe.
Well, will this be the first carry for Kiki Diayala? The linebacker is in the play backfield, a la refrigerator. As Cincinnati will go for it. Green Bay was successful on a fourth down conversion in the first quarter. Diayala's to the left side, number 93. No, goes to Johnson. Johnson fights inside the 10 to the 9, which would be good enough for a first down. Tom Flynn brought him down.
Good block by Diayala. Solidified the left side for Bill Johnson. Let's take a look at it. Number 93, Kiki Diayala, right there. Watch him inside. Cleans up on the block on Randy Scott. Gets him off of his fullback. Johnson, with an excellent effort, crawls for a first down.
There's Diayala. Sam White said he was pulling at his shirt tails a couple of weeks ago, saying, I want to touch it next time. First and goal at the 9. Johnson to the outside and dragged down by the coattails by John L. Sullivan, the strong safety. Tom Flynn helped out his way. Good play defensively against the big fullback, Bill Johnson. 2:20 remaining in the first half here. It was 13-7 Cincinnati. Elsewhere, New England pouring it on that helpless Miami defense. The Raiders have gotten 7 back against Kansas City. Winless St. Louis playing the Giants tough. Undefeated Atlanta is trailing 17-14. Cleveland over Pittsburgh. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Second and goal at the 8. Cincinnati, critical possession here for Green Bay defensively. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Brooks has daylight. His second touchdown of the afternoon. James Brooks runs to the far side 8 yards, and now Cincinnati leads 19-7.
How about that for diversification? You really cannot hang your hat when you're defending Sam White and the Cincinnati Bengals. They do a number of things well. This is an option play. Watch it now. Fake to the fullback. Pitch outside to the speedy James Brooks. Forget it. Hang it up. You can't catch him. John Dorsey and company. Sprints to the corner of the end zone. Second touchdown on the day from number 21, James Brooks.
It's really the second in the last 4 minutes for Brooks. And now Breach, whose last one was blocked, will try again. Low snap, but this one he gets up, and he's got one for this afternoon. So, with 1:55 remaining in the first half, the Bengals lead the Packers from Esiason to Collinsworth. Along that drive as well, Cincinnati went for it and was successful on fourth down, and that enabled James Brooks to take it in from 8 yards away. So, with 1:55 left in the half, the Bengals trailed 7-0 after 1, but now have countered with 20 unanswered points. And Breach kicking short again to the far side and out of bounds, and he'll have to do it one more time. This will not go in Jim Breach's personal memory book so far this afternoon.
I think Jim Breach is approaching the football very cautiously. We told you early on that that's not the best footing of the field. Right there around that 30-yard line, it's very slippery, it's very soggy, so he just can't take off on that push-off foot, and he's kicking mostly with his leg. Normally a kicker gets that entire body whipped into the ball, but right now he can't do that.
And he's kicking into the wind as the wind continues to swirl here at County Stadium. And that's the exact opposite way that Breach is kicking. So no time taken off the clock. They only start the clock in the last 2 minutes until it is touched by the defense, by the receiving team. Low kick. Walter Stanley at the 15. Stanley stays in bounds and is whistled on the far side. He did step out of bounds, the official says, at around the 36. So a 20-yard return for Walter Stanley. Now let's take another look and see where he did step.
There's a second-year wide receiver kick runner.
Right there.
Just did touch the chalk mark.
So there's our Our score with 1:50 remaining in the second quarter. 20-7 Cincinnati. Randy Wright continues to lead an offense which has really struggled, particularly here in this quarter. First down from the 32 from the shotgun. Needs a big play right here. And dishes off for Ivory. Eddie Lee out of bounds at the 38. Maybe the 39. Pickup of 7. Think he'll play today?
Well, if Randy Wright doesn't put anything on the board here, I think the Packers will have nothing to lose. But they won't panic just yet.
1:44 remaining now in the first half.
Second and 3.
It's going to be a second down and 3 at the 39. Randy Wright, another Wisconsin native. Played at the University of Wisconsin. Tough weekend for the Badgers. Losing to Michigan last night. Big score. And the sack of Wright by Jim Scow. His second sack. Rookie from Nebraska.
Here's the reason for the sack. Watch Lofton. He's the intended receiver. Lewis Billups, the rookie. Cincinnati. You see Lofton pulling Billups. He should have been called for holding on Lofton, but excellent coverage by Billups.
Third down. Here they come. And that was thrown into a crowd and incomplete. And the crowd is thinking perhaps you've seen it in the second half, and we will have to wait and see what Forrest Gregg is thinking, because Randy Wright has just continued to struggle here with the Packer offense this afternoon. And Green Bay, with 1:34 remaining in the half, will have to punt away, and that's why Sam White's called that timeout a few moments ago.
Well, maybe trite on my part, but I don't think the future of the Green Bay Packers rests with the passing arm of Randy Wright. I think they'll be looking for Vinny Testaverde or anyone like him in the draft.
Bracken kicks it away to Mike Martin at the 29. And Martin is grabbed at the 34 as the Packers are ball hawking unsuccessfully. Ed Berry, the first man down. 39-yard punt, a 4-yard return, and with 83 seconds remaining in the first half, Sam White and Boomer Esiason want more. It was a first quarter that was dominated by Green Bay. Time of possession, they had it over 10 minutes with a 7-0 lead. But the second quarter, all Bengals, they have outscored Green Bay 20-0 here in the second quarter. Reminder coming up on NFL 86 at halftime. Preview of the baseball playoffs as well as the football scores and highlights. Bob Costas will speak with the Mets' Keith Hernandez and Boston's Wade Boggs. So stay with us for NFL 86. But here, first down at the 35 for Cincinnati.
He's got 4 wide receivers in the football game now, and James Brooks.
Shotgun, handoff to Brooks inside. Big hole, and gets out to the 40. And the clock continues to run with 1:12 remaining in the first half. Cincinnati, no huddle. This will be 2nd and 5. Exactly 1 minute remaining now in the first half. Esiason completes it to McGee. Just the 3rd NFL reception for Tim McGee, the first choice out of Tennessee. And now Sam White waves him over to the side and spends the second of their 3 timeouts with 49 seconds remaining in the half.
Speaking of Tim McGee, their first-round draft choice, Sam White says he actually has 3 first-rate receivers, Collinsworth, Brown, and Tim McGee, and he expects to begin to play McGee.
The Bengals still have 1 more timeout. Greg hoping he can escape with a 27 deficit. First down for Cincinnati at their 48.
This is an impossible matchup for Forrest Gregg and the Green Bay Packers. They can't cover this formation.
3 wide receivers are split to the left. McGee falls down. He was one of the 3, but Collinsworth is wide open and out of bounds at the 30. So with 42 seconds remaining, the Bengals want more. Ken Stills backup free safety covering.
When you're putting 4 fast people right at the line of scrimmage and the defense doesn't get any pass rush, and you've got a quarterback like Boomer Esiason, forget it. You can't handle players of this caliber for a long period of time. Look at them running downfield. Look at the good move Collinsworth makes inside and back out on Cade.
That's right. Cade went with the fake. Now first down for Cincinnati at the Green Bay 29. From the shotgun. Shovel pass. Brooks wide open. Brooks at the 15, all the way down to the 8. Esiason with an underhand shovel pass forward. The big gainer of over 20 yards. Quite a play to James Brooks. And the Bengals take their last time out. They could give up 27 in the first half alone to the Bengals. And 4 wide receivers in for Cincinnati. First and goal at the 7. Throwing, and McGee was open. As Collinsworth on the near side throws his arms, you can see him running off there, and Collinsworth was open as well.
So if I was Green Bay, I would not cover the left side of this offensive formation with single coverage. I know that they can't do much on the right side because of the wall. I'd put 3 men down to the bottom side and cover 3 men with 2 and let the top guys go man to man.
They know they'll likely put it up. They're out of timeouts.
They're not going to throw to the right side unless they come back underneath.
2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, with 28 seconds remaining in the half.
That's the underneath pass again.
Collinsworth in motion. He's open. Collinsworth, his second touchdown for the Bengals. 2 for Collinsworth, 2 for Brooks. Collinsworth spikes it. 26 points in the second quarter to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Excellent play call by Sam Weich and company. Watch Collinsworth come underneath the receivers clearing out on the far side. Both guys go inside. Collinsworth runs underneath those 2 receivers, catches the football, and then gets into the end zone after the catch. Second touchdown of the day for Chris Collinsworth. The Bengals are roaring.
And Collinsworth doubles his touchdown output of the year. Goes from 2 to 4 in the first half. Anderson will hold for Breach. Bengals with their most impressive offensive quarter of 1986. 20. Jim Breach with another low kickoff. Walter Stanley at the 16. This time he stays inbounds, but a flag is thrown and he's dragged down at the 36. Which way? Okay. Points it against Green Bay. You hark back to that play. The score was 7-7, and the Green Bay defense turned in a good sack. But Mark Lee was called for holding. Remember that play?
Yes.
Holding on the return, number 31, first down.
And maybe a little turning point of a play there. Cincinnati was able to move in and score, make it 13-7 with 5 minutes, and they've scored 2 touchdowns since, as Chuck Fusina is wondering if the second half will be his or not. First down for Green Bay at the 21 with 17 seconds remaining in the first half. In the shotgun, Randy Wright, who can do little right, unfortunately, for Packer fans this afternoon. Over the middle, Lofton's got one at the 43, and timeout taken with 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Finally, a completion to a wide receiver for 22 yards.
You make a throw like this against the prevent defense, which the Bengals are in right now, because the secondary is so deep, and you're willing to give up this kind of play, but you won't give up anything beyond the defensive back. Watch it now. You see how deep the Bengals are? They just don't want anybody to get beyond them. Outstanding play, though, by James Lofton.
Lofton is 5 catches shy of setting a Packer team record, surpassing Don Hudson's record for catches in his career back in the 40s when he caught 488 balls.
That's amazing. Hudson caught 488 balls in 11 seasons back when the forward pass had just been invented.
And Lofton with a chance at that record today, although the way things are going, it would be tough.
This isn't the way, mind you, that I think he wants to gain that record. He knows there's going to be what I call a lot of garbage stuff out there right now, and it's 27-7.
Well, there are 10 seconds to go, Reggie, so you figure you try one long pass and hope for a field goal try or something like that.
No more field goals. They got to score. I mean, they've got to get some balls beyond the end line.
Right ball and signals from his 43. Far side, complete to Stanley.
As a receiver, I dreaded a high pass like that, in which I had to go up and get my feet off the ground because I knew the defensive back was going to come under me, and it's always the risk of coming down on your neck.
Ray Horton was the man who submarined them.
This is the most dangerous play for a wide receiver. Up is Stanley. Great catch. Now Horton comes underneath.
Wow.
Fortunately for Stanley, he got down on his shoulders before his helmet hit the ground. Very dangerous play for a wide receiver.
Wow. Just sitting on the far side. 4 seconds left. The ball is at the Cincinnati 45. Stanley holding that right leg. You can see that one coming. And while we have a moment, the Green Bay timeout. New England 27-0 over Miami. The other scores remain the same. No change on any of those as well. Of course, NFL 86 will have all the scores and highlights in just a few moments. Score here. The scores whipped by Cincinnati 27, Green Bay 7. And you're right. They will not try a 62-yard field goal, Reggie. They will go for it on first down and 45 yards.
Got Epps and Lofton down on the right side of the screen. That's where I would throw the football.
And he'll throw up a prayer as time runs out. No, he won't. On the second quarter, dumps it off for Kenneth Davis.
We're going to get booed here now.
And that's a no-gainer. And you can hear the